A warm welcome to Kiwi Cop Stories this week. I'm Simon Wyatt, former New Zealand police officer turned crime writer. Today I'm joined kindly by Brent. Brent in the past has done some investigative work for Housing New Zealand, and he's going to share a story about one of those occasions.
After 6 years in the police, I left and commenced investigations for other government departments or organisations, and one of them happened to be Housing New Zealand. And this would have been a few years after leaving the police. And investigators at Housing New Zealand typically investigate fraud matters where people in need have been allocated social housing due to their circumstances, and at times they're not always truthful about their circumstances.
Sure.
And so that essentially the housing is means tested, and so it's the responsibility of tenants in Housing New Zealand homes to declare their income and to declare if a partner is living with them. So a typical investigation for a Housing New Zealand investigator was to investigate tenants for undeclared income and undeclared partners. One particular occasion I was responsible for investigating incidents of suspected undeclared partner.
Yep.
For those sort of investigations, before speaking with the tenant, we do background checks on them just to verify the suspicion. And that could involve doing checks with finance companies to see joint applications by them and a partner for that particular address. We also check with utilities to see if there's joint names assigned to that particular address. So in this one case, there was clear evidence of this Housing New Zealand tenant living at this address with her partner. The partner was listed on several applications to that address, and we were without doubt that he was living there, but we need to give the tenant an opportunity to explain or to provide alternative information. So I met with the tenant at her property. The purpose of this was to interview her. It wasn't to go through her house looking for evidence of a partner. It was purely to put the information that had been collected to her and seek an explanation.
Sure.
So I began the interview as I normally would, by just going through her circumstances, and then it came to the point of directly asking her whether she lived with a partner. And she outright denied, even when I put all the information I collected. And towards the end of the interview, again, asked her, and this would have been for the fifth or sixth time, she raised her hands in the air and said to me, "All right, do you want to see my boyfriend?" I thought, wow, she's going to come clean. So she left the room, and there I was, sitting on her sofa. At that stage, this is 6 or 7 years ago, we're still taking handwritten statements, so I had my little pad on my lap and started making a few notes. And then she entered the room, and I was still writing, and I didn't really look up. All of a sudden, a big rubber vibrator was thrown into my lap. And she stood in front of me and said, "There's my boyfriend. There he is. Are you satisfied?" So I was completely gobsmacked.
Not quite what you're expecting, was it?
Wow. Yeah, that wasn't the boyfriend that I had in mind. And I hadn't certainly seen that listed on the finance applications. So that brought a quick end to the interview.
I bet.
I was stuck in this position of having this thing sitting on my lap.
Really appreciate you watching this week's episode of Kiwi Cop Stories. If you liked the video, please make sure you do like it, and also subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss out on any future stories. Thank you.